The Met Mile this year starts in the goofy Wilson Chute, where horses with outside posts and those lacking early speed are at a disadvantage. Fortunately, the race did not attract a big field, so it shouldn't matter too much. Blazing Sevens won the Champagne and lost a photo in the Preakness, but he's never run fast enough to have a shot here. His comeback effort was okay, but we don't play older horses to run a 3-point new top, and he'll need at least that. The Met is a handicap, and 5 pounds is worth 1 point on a Thoro-Graph scale. That means Castle Chaos gets a 1-point advantage from the high weights. But even at his best, that's not good enough unless the race completely collapses. Hoist the Gold got good late as a 3-year-old and took it into the following spring before tailing off. He got good again last fall, then came up with a huge effort in the mud to win the Cigar. Not surprisingly, he bounced badly, and then he was even worse in Saudi Arabia. His last was more like it, a concealed forward move, and it could be a sign he's coming around again. The big one in the mud is Hoist the Gold's only effort that gives him a shot here. But Dallas Stewart has a history of pulling rabbits out of hats on big days, so we will use him, but we won't rely on him. National Treasure had a great pattern and figures as a 2-year-old, but it took him almost a year to return to that level. Once he did, he immediately broke through to a new level, and his last 2 were very good. Baffert's horses generally fire when they ship east, but the problem for this one is that even if he fires at the weights, his best just makes him a contender. Post Time was very good as a 2-year-old, got faster at 3, then got really good this year, starting with 2 big negative figures. He hasn't been quite as good as his last 2, but the timing is right now for a return to a big one. And if he throws one of those while getting a point in weight from the high weights, he has a big shot. Note that betting Brittany Russell at Saratoga has generally been a good idea. Dutch Show got hold of White Bario last spring and ran him in this race when it was at Belmont. He ran okay that day, but the really big one came next time, going 2 turns in the Whitney. That new top was a gigantic effort that he hasn't come close to duplicating since, and he won the Breeders' Cup Classic despite running much slower. We'll give White Bario a pass for the bad one in the Middle East. But the reality is this is another with just one huge effort. At the weights, none of his other ones figured to be good enough, and there's no particular reason for him to fire his best shot here around 1 turn. The bottom line in the Met is that both favorites have races that can win, but they don't have to run their best, and at the weights, Post Time has as good a chance as either, at a bigger price. We'll also use Hoist the Gold a little.